No. How y'all doing this morning? Amen. This past week has been very hectic. I'm in school and I applied for different positions around, October of last year.
Yes.
And I was wondering why I didn't get it. So I started looking on the postal website and
Yes.
I was like, why I didn't get it.
Yes.
But I noticed it said rejected. I was like, why was it rejected? And I looked back at my resume. I said, well, it was a lot of errors on my resume, and I guess I wasn't good enough. And for that moment, I let that rejection of that job pull me down. And it had me discouraged for a while to where I didn't really want to do anything. I was like, why I didn't get the job? Because other people that had got the job don't even have the qualifications that I have.
There you go.
So I'm like, wow, what's up with that? And it reminded me of a show called Shark Tank. Anybody seen that show called Shark Tank?
Yes.
You notice that most of the time they do not really accept the job.
No.
And I was looking at this one episode, actually it was last night, I was looking at it, and it was with this dude with the, it was called Doorbot. And they rejected him. They said, you know what, I'm out, I don't want to invest in this at all.
Yeah.
But there was somebody that invested in it.
Yes.
And when they invested in it, he made billions.
Yes.
Not millions, but billions. And that Doorbot is what we call the iRing today. So the thing about sometimes when you get rejected, don't think it as it's the end of the world, that don't nobody want me no more, nobody want to listen to what I've got to say or what I have to present. Just think of it as another opportunity that God is going to give you in order to move forward. Just because it was a no right there doesn't mean it's going to be a yes around the corner.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Say that there.
And this is going to be a tough message today because I realize that I've dealt with rejection a lot of times in my life.
Yes.
See, rejection is the dismissing or refusing of a proposal or an ideal.
Yes.
See, that's more like, when you presenting something. But sometimes we get rejected on teams.
Yes.
We want to try out for this football team.
Yes.
Your mama said you was good. Your daddy said you was good. Everybody said you was good. You practice with everybody. But as soon as you get onto that team, they be like, no, I don't think you're good enough.
Yes. Yes.
Think about this. Michael Jordan, he was rejected.
Yes.
LeBron James, a lot of them was rejected at first. Now look at where they at now.
Yes.
Just because they was rejected didn't stop them. So when you go through a period of rejection, don't stop. Just keep on going until you get that yes. And even in some things, you might have to change it up. Just like I had to change up my resume, I had to change it up a little bit. So, okay, they didn't like what this was going. So, okay, God, give me the knowledge and the wisdom to change it up a little bit. So, I'm going to change it up.
Yes.
See, these are the signs that you are dealing with rejection. Here we go. Value others' opinions over your own. When you get rejected, you value others' opinions over your own. You might have this good idea saying, you know what, I think this is going to be, you know what, hey man, what you think about that? I don't know. Well, I don't know neither. But this was something that God put it on your heart, He put it in your spirit, and you excited about it.
Yes.
Sometimes you can let somebody, let me put it in this term, kill your vibe.
Yes.
You will let somebody kill your vibe. You'll be on fire. You'll be like, you know what? I got this nice invention. I've been working on it for years. And man, this is going to change the industry. You tell a friend or a family member, and if they don't agree with it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, well, I don't know if that'll work. Then you'll feel that rejection inside, and you'll be like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. That's what happens when you're dealing with rejection.
Yes.
You value other people's opinions over your own.
Yes.
And then sometimes God can't work with that.
Yes.
Because you're looking to man to get approval from, but God is like, I already gave you the approval. I already gave you the idea. I already gave it to you in your spirit, and you gonna sit and let somebody overthrow my will? What's up with that? Number 2. I'm gonna move pretty quickly. Blame others for how your life turned out. You blame others for how your life turned out. I'm gonna say that again. You tend to blame others for how your life turned out. Just because your grandpa, your grandma, your daddy, your mama made mistakes doesn't mean that you have the right to blame them, because you are your own person. It might have scarred you a little bit, but you still your own person. And you have the ability to break that curse as well. You can't do exactly what your daddy did or what your mama did. You your own person. You can't blame them. And see, there's a lot of situations that happen with molestation, rape, drugs, and all that stuff that cause that child to kind of stray away. And it's hard for them to forgive themselves and forgive their parents, but you can't blame them because you're your own person. You can't do that. It's hard because you always think about the situation in your mind. You always have those, what I call flashbacks. You know, it's like a movie playing over and over in your head. And every time you try to do something in life, the enemy will come back and say, well, because your mama did this to you, or your daddy did this to you, or they was this certain way and they called you stupid, and they called you dumb, and they called you less than what you're supposed to be, you're gonna fail. But you can't blame them because you're your own person. He gives grace and mercy to each and every one of us. That's just like me relying on someone else to get me to heaven. Can no one else get me to heaven? I must confess with my mouth that Jesus Lord and believe in my heart that God raised him from the dead, and I will be saved. That's an individual thing. The Bible also says that you should work out your own, keyword, own salvation with fear and trembling. You must be able to heal inside in order to move forward and not blame anybody else for how your life turned out.
Amen.
Think about this. Most people blame molestation on why they're promiscuous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They blame rape, when being sexually active at a young age, for why they're promiscuous, and why a lot of girls, teenagers, they're going to the strip club. Well, because when I was little, I was molested. When I was little, I went through this, and that's the reason that's who I am right now. No, that's not who you are, because there's a lot of people out here that has changed. That is up to you. That is your decision. You can't say just because I did that or I went through that, it's because of who I am. That's not who you are. That is your choice. That is your choice to do whatever you do. If you're enticed by that lifestyle, you're gonna do it. Not because somebody else did something to you or you blaming somebody else. You can't blame nobody else.
Every way, Lord Jesus.
Number 3. This is another sign of rejection. Have a fear of failure. We have a fear of failure. We are so pumped up about this idea. But because we seen somebody else next to us fail. We seen somebody else next to us that didn't make it. We have that fear. Especially when you got somebody that's not in your corner, that's not lined up with the vision that God has given you. They will talk you out of it. They will talk it out of you so fast. Most of the times, they are jealous. Sometimes they can be jealous. They can be like, well, that might be a good idea. It might make him millions and he might forget about me or something like that. They get jealous and they'll be like, nah, I don't. And since they know that value their opinion so much
Yes.
that they will go and run with it.
Yes. Yes.
You can't do that. You can't have this fear of failure. The scripture in 2 Timothy 1:7. 2 Timothy 1:7. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Here's the 3 key words. Power. Say this. Power. Love. And a sound mind. No, see. Say this again. Power. Love. And a sound mind. See, that's 3 words that's overtaking that one word. That one word is fear, but when you have God, you have power, love, and a sound mind. See, think about power. God gives you that strength, and He also showed you His love. And then you'll be able to sleep at night because you have a sound mind. Why you think about so many people that are so stressed out right now, they can't sleep. They want to blame it on other stuff. Well, I got too much homework that's keeping me up at night. Well, I got too much work that I need to get done that's keeping me up at night. All you gotta do is turn your brain off. You gotta imagine in your head your brain being like an off switch. At nighttime is when you need to turn it off. Because if you keep on staying up too late, you start thinking about stuff. And that's exactly when the enemy start pounding on your head. He gets you at nighttime. He gets you at nighttime. So when he gets you, all you do is just sit in that bed and ponder on all of the things that's in your life that's going wrong. That's all we do is ponder. Well, I'm not making enough money right now. My spouse is acting up with me. Man, my job really getting on my nerves. By the time you turn around, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and all you did was just go into a pity party all night long. Woe is me. Don't nobody accept me. Don't nobody love me no more, and all this other stuff. And now you don't have an energy to perform your job well. Then you're coming in sleepy. And then most of the times it causes accidents, especially if you work in a factory or I work outside. So if I'm too sleepy, I might run the mail truck into a mailbox or something. I don't know. So you have to stay alert. You have to stay alert. But that goes with having that peace in the word sound mind. Faith over fear. Say this with me. Faith over fear. Look to your neighbor and say, faith over fear.
Faith over fear. Faith over fear.
You can't control everything. Sometimes you think, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to control it in this area, but God is like, no. It's my will in the direction He wants you to go. So when we get into this control issue thing, we try to control everything, but when it goes wrong, we get discouraged, and now we have that fear of failure. Another sign of rejection, low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. You might have tried to holler at a girl or a boy, and you was really liking them. And then they rejected you, and they was like, you don't look too good for me. I don't want to talk to you. And then you start having this low self-esteem. And then you forget who you are. You forget. Instead of looking in the mirror at yourself and seeing someone beautiful, you look at whatever that person said to you. That's why in school, kids nowadays, they will slander you and tear you down. Just off of jokes. Just off of joking with somebody. Just when I was in high school, we called it scoring. Then they say high side and all that stuff. If you're not strong enough, you'll let them words get to you real quick. Somebody call you fat, somebody call you ugly,
Yeah.
then you be like, you kind of, look a little hard, like, you know what, no, that didn't do nothing to me. But then you go into the bathroom or you go into a solitude place and you're thinking about it. You start having those low self-esteem thoughts. And that goes with rejection. Because most of the times we think of ourselves as being perfect. That can't nobody score on me, can't nobody hostile on me. I look good. But then somebody says something about you, you start going to a low self-esteem party. And you start thinking about all the stuff that's wrong with you. Then you start picking stuff apart. You know what? Well, my eyebrows need to be arched a little bit. I might need a little bit a nicer haircut. Maybe I need to get to that barber so he can kind of put that razor and just line it up real nice, because I don't like my haircut right now. Well, I don't like my hairdo right now. And if you think about it, looking at all of the time, like everything celebrities, it's fake this and fake that. I'm gonna just be real with you. You got your fake breasts, you got your fake implants and all this other stuff. Just because, and I believe this to be true, they have low self-esteem.
Yes, sir. You're right about it, right?
Yes.
Like God made you in His image. He made you fearfully and wonderfully made. So why would you go out there and try to enhance yourself just to look pleasing to someone else?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Because of low self-esteem, you are not satisfied with you.
Yes, sir.
That's another sign of rejection. And this is seeks to make another person's life miserable. When you're dealing with signs of rejection, you are so angry at everyone. It's like Hulk smash. You want to knock off everybody. And that person that rejected you, you are thinking of revenge. You seek to make their lives miserable. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 15. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 15. The word of God says, see that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men.
Yes, sir.
You cannot repay evil for evil. They might have done you wrong. They might have rejected you. They might have told you that you was not going to be nothing, but you cannot repay evil for evil. That's something in their mind, in their heart, in their spirit that they have to work out. And that's something that God will have to do to, help them out. But that doesn't really concern you. You can't go around saying, you know what, I'm going to get revenge on that person because that person hurts me. You cannot do evil for evil, and you cannot seek to make that person's life miserable. Most of the times we have issue with people. And the first thing that comes to our mind, when I get older, I'm going to let them have it. When I get older, I'm going to let them have it. You're planning in your head for years on how you're going to put revenge on that person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You plotting.
Yes, sir.
You plotting, you ready. You putting out that battle strategy. You like, soon as I get my hands on this, as soon as I get my hands on that, as soon as I get strong enough, I'm going to be in this gym. I'm going to be working out so I get my muscles real strong. So the next time I see him, when I get a little bigger, it's going down.
Yes.
That's how we think when we're ready to seek revenge on the person that hate us. All we got to do is turn that around, because we're fighting the wrong enemy.
Yes.
The enemy, the Bible says that he is the author of confusion.
Yes.
So he will say something to you to make you think that your brother or your sister is your enemy.
Yes.
But the devil, Satan, Lucifer, that is the enemy.
Yes, sir.
The Bible says in Ephesians 6 that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and evildoers in high places.
Yes, sir.
So think about that. We fight against principalities.
Yes.
We don't fight against each other. We fight against those spirits that's come to try to tear us down and try to tear up God's kingdom.
Yes, sir.
We gotta stop having that spirit of seeking revenge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, most of the times we struggle with knowing who we are. Knowing who we are. Because think about this. When you know who you are, and I've said this before, when you know who you are, you know who you're not.
Amen.
When you know who you are, you know who you're not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some people will say, well, because the reason I keep talking about parents and stuff like that, because a lot of stuff started because they didn't really just get it right. I'm just gonna say they just didn't get it right, and they made some mistakes. But that doesn't have to apply to your life as well. You have the power to break that generational curse.
Yes.
So the reason I'm talking about parents and grandparents and all that, because a lot of stuff started with them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the thing about that is,
Yes, sir. Say that now.
when you struggle with your identity on knowing who you are, you will struggle with being rejected.
Yes.
You will struggle with it.
Struggle with
If somebody, like if you know who you are, if somebody try to tell you something different,
Yes.
you're gonna know so much of who you are, you can be like, you know what, that's not me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You might have used to go and party and club and all this other stuff, and now you want to start doing the right thing.
Yes.
And somebody come up to you and say, come on, let's go out here and party. When you know your identity, you would say, that's not me.
Yes, sir.
Look to your neighbor and say, that's not me. That's not me.
That's not me.
You got to know who you are in order to prosper in life.
Amen.
Because God just put this in my spirit. When you do not know who you are, guess what? You're going to follow someone else.
Yes, sir.
My ministry is called Lost in Transition.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You're going to be lost in transition with trying to know who you are. But when you don't know who you are, you're going to be following somebody else.
There you go.
That's just like me saying, you know what?
Yes.
I'm going to be just like, no, and I'm going to be honest. When I first started ministering, I always wanted to be like T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like you listen to T.D. Jakes and you hear that power, you like, yeah. You want to be just like him.
Yes.
But I started to try to be like him, and people started saying, why you sounding like T.D. Jakes? Why? Well, I don't know why. I didn't. And then after that, I started, E.T. the hip-hop preacher. I started acting like him as far as speaking style. Yo, this your boy E.T. the hip-hop preacher. And I was doing all of that stuff and then realized I'm mimicking off of him.
Yes, sir.
But then God had to really show me how my style is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who Derek
Yes,
is.
sir. Yes, sir.
Not T.D. Jakes, not E.T. the hip-hop preacher, not Tony Evans, not any of the other pastors or speakers, but who Derek is.
Yes.
And I had to come to grips that that's who I am.
Say that now.
A lot of people like to tease me and say that I will be just chill and humble, but when I get onto the mic, I have some kind of alter ego. And when I get on stage and I rap or I speak, I turn into somebody else. But that's me.
That's you.
That's me. You have to be comfortable of the skin that you're in. And you have to be comfortable of the identity that God has given you. You got to be comfortable in it. If not, somebody else will put their own identity on you. And you will be sitting following someone else and don't realize it.
Yes, sir. Don't you say?
Here's the last sign of rejection. You keep your guard up.
Yes, God.
You keep your guard up.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now,
Yes, sir. Say that now.
I'm always talking about boxing, and
Yes.
so
Yes.
think about in the boxing ring. You got your guard up.
Yes.
You trying not to get hit.
Yes.
But if you have your guard up so much,
Yes.
you can't even punch back.
Yes, sir.
All you're doing is just this. You're doing defensive moves.
Your face.
You're not even trying to go on the offense.
Yes, sir.
You're letting all that rejection just put a wall up.
Yes.
They might have said something like, you might not be smart enough. I don't think I can read good enough.
Yes.
I don't think I can write good enough to pursue that college degree.
Yes.
I don't think that my reading is up to par to try to read out loud and for the congregation or something like that. Well, I don't think I deserve that PhD. I don't think. The key word is I don't think. But that's God thinks the opposite of I don't think. And once you'll be able to let that guard down,
yes,
you can be able to get in defense mode, but also on the offense.
Yes, sir.
Because the enemy he'll just let you have your guard up. Like you just be folded.
Yes, sir.
And they just pounding on you because you got your guard up.
Yes.
Why you think it's so hard for you to find a relationship now? Because you got your guard up. You so hurt, you so scarred by what the man or the woman did to you in that previous relationship. You just got your guard up.
Yes.
Now this is the disclaimer. You gotta also study them as well. So don't go out there and just grab anybody. You gotta study them as well. So that's the disclaimer. Just keep your guard up, but also kind of be a little smart about the situation. Just don't go out there and just grab anybody. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do it. But don't have your guard up so much to when that man or that woman, or put it like this, that job or anything else comes around, you reject it because you are so thinking about how much you got rejected in the past.
Yes.
That's just like if I would say, you know what, I got rejected for this job, but that's not going to stop me. Mm-hmm. I was up last night like, you know what? Okay, God, you really put this in my heart, so I'm gonna go out and pursue this A+ certification. Because if I can't get it over here, God, you directed me somewhere over here.
Yes.
So that's how it is. When rejection happens, you have to ask God to give you the strategy to do it another way. You might have to change it up.
Yes.
You gotta change it up sometimes.
Yes.
A lot of people get discouraged when they start businesses.
Yes.
They get very discouraged when they start businesses because it doesn't, prosper the way they wanted to right off the top. But when it comes to developing something, it takes time. I've spoken about this before. It's just like you saying, I'm going to put a pot roast inside of a microwave. Well, that's not going to work. You're not going to get the same results of putting a pot roast in a microwave versus putting a pot roast inside of a slow cooker. It's going to take time.
Yes.
Your business might not prosper today, but guess what? It's going to prosper tomorrow. And see, that tomorrow can be weeks, it can be months, but you have to stay diligent. You have to keep working that. You have to keep working that business like you already got 100 customers.
Yes.
You got to keep doing that. Yes. You gotta have that drive. Yes. You gotta have that zeal. Yes. You gotta have that perseverance to keep on moving when you do not see it moving, and you gotta keep on pushing when you don't see it pushing, and you gotta keep on trusting God for the increase.
Yes, sir.
Psalm 27:10. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up.
Yes.
Just to kind of insert something like, when people reject me,
yes,
when people say I wasn't going to amount to nothing just because I did something bad,
yes,
the Lord will take me up.
there you go.
When people reject me,
Yes, sir.
the Lord will take me up. Overcoming rejection.
Yes.
Remember that your past rejection will not alter God's will for your life.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir.
His will must be done. God allow that rejection to happen in your life, but it will not alter it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
If God wants you to be this person right here, you are gonna be that person, regardless of your past, regardless of your rejection, regardless of what you did, regardless of your past sins, you are still going to be this person because his will be done.
Yes, sir.
Whether you like it or not. So you cannot allow those past rejections to think that it's going to alter God's plan for your life, because it's not. So you got to stay encouraged. You got to stay pushing. Yeah. Just like the little engine that could. He keep on chugging in and chugging in and chugging in and chugging in. The little engine that could. Yes. I know this is like for maybe 30 and up right there. But you got to keep on. You got to keep on pushing. Here's another one. Forgive the people that was involved, and also forgive yourself. Yes. Forgive the people that was involved, and also forgive yourself. You got to forgive the people. Yes. They might have done you wrong. Yes. They might have messed your life up. But you got to forgive them. That is the hardest things to do, is to forgive. Not go around and say, I forgive you, but also mean it in your heart. Yes, sir. See, once you forgive somebody truly, that's when that situation does not bother you. Yes. And going back to 2 Timothy 1:7, you will have a sound mind. Yes. You will have a sound mind when you forgive them. Yes. But also forgive yourself. Most of the times we don't even think about forgiving ourselves, because we're so focused on what they did. And since we're so focused on what they did, we got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I forgive me. Yes, sir. If you're dealing with something, you got to, I forgive me. Yes. Pat yourself on the chest and say, I forgive me. I forgive me. Or I might have messed up and cut somebody on the road. Yes. But I'm blaming them. But you know what? Lord, that's not my character, so I forgive me. Yes, sir. That's not my character, so I forgive me. You have to forgive yourself. That's how you overcome rejection. Yes, sir. I'm going to end it with this quote. Every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. Every time I thought I was being rejected from something good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what? I thought this was good for me. Yes, sir. But God was redirecting it to something better. Yes, sir. To something better. Yes, sir. You have to overcome those signs of rejection. Yes, sir. You have to say, you know what? I forgive me. I forgive that person. I forgive that job. I forgive them people that's on the road that's driving crazy and don't have nowhere to go, and they just driving fast for no reason. Yes. I must forgive them. Yes, sir. Yes. Amen. Anybody out there that say, you know what? I dealt with rejection. I'm still dealing with rejection. It's turned me up. I can't sleep at night. I'm constantly thinking about what that person said. It's haunting me. It keeps reminding me of my past failures. I just feel so low. Anybody that's feeling like that now, come on to the altar. The altar is open for prayer. Anybody that needs prayer, even if it's not for rejection, even if you say, you know what, I want to give my life to Christ today, the altar is open. Or even then, I want to rededicate my life to Christ this morning. You know what, I fell off. I haven't been really getting it together. The altar is open. Is there anybody that needs prayer on this morning? They need prayer for their finances. They need prayer for new jobs. They need help with their family, with the kids. They need help with something. The altar is open. the altar is open.
Yes, sir.
To those who want prayer, the altar is open.
Yes, sir.
Because God